Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Offhand. Today, we are beginning with a little bit of an apology. It's been a minute since we've posted. We did do a live stream a couple weeks ago for the NFL draft. Uh, Again, do apologize for that. Been really busy. I just graduated college, so that's a big thing. So, took a lot of my time, but we're gonna talk about the NFL draft finally. We're gonna be talking about, ironically, two linebackers that both went in the second round. We did not plan this. That's just how this ended up. Because we're gonna be talking about fits. We're gonna be talking about how these two guys fit super well. Hopefully, be a little bit of a shorter video to kind of help get us back in the flow. But I'm gonna be talking about Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah. Chad is gonna be talking about
Azeez Ojulari.
Azeez Ojulari. Yes. And to kind of introduce ourselves, my name is Andy. The man to my left is Chad. The man at the bottom of your screen is not Steven. In case you forgot, because it's been a minute since we've posted, Steven is a part of this. He just couldn't show up tonight. And it's fair. He had a fair excuse. This was a little bit of a last minute production. Not gonna lie to you guys. We're gonna hop right into it. Chad, do you want to go first about your guy, or should I?
I think you should go first.
I should go first. Okay. I
Yeah.
usually have a lot of stuff written down, so it's very
Yeah.
valid. I usually have a lot of notes. So Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah. I'm so glad that you can just it's as you read it is what it sounds. I love it so much. He was picked in the second round, pick 20, 52nd overall by the Cleveland Browns. He's a linebacker from Notre Dame. To give a little bit of context about the Browns went 11-5 last year, so they are a very good team. A lot of people have very high hopes for the Browns this year. How do you feel about the Browns this upcoming year, Child?
I can see them winning their division pretty easily.
I could as well.
Yeah. The Steelers offense, I don't trust it. The
Mhm.
Ravens, if they can get back to how they were 2 years ago, maybe.
Maybe.
Maybe they can fight for that, but I think it's Browns, Ravens, Steelers, and then I forget who else is in that division because
Yeah, it's the Bengals. The Bengals is the other
oh,
one, but
okay, there we
they're
go. That's
irrelevant,
why.
so it's fine. Yeah,
Yeah,
they're
that's
not
why.
fighting for
Yeah.
anything. They're just hoping to keep their quarterback standing for the whole
Yeah.
season. That's their goal, to be
Yeah.
honest.
So yeah, I think the Browns definitely will take that pretty
Yeah.
easily.
And the Browns took Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, who I think is going to have a big impact on their defense this year. The man won multiple awards. He won the Buck Kiss Award, which goes to the best linebacker in college football. He won the ACC Defensive Player of the Year. The ACC is no joke as a conference, really good conference. He was a unanimous All American. That's high praise. And he was a first team all ACC, no surprise, all this past season. The guy, some people consider him to be the best linebacker in the draft. That's why I was a real surprise that he fell so far into the second round.
Yeah.
Some people compared him to Michael Parsons. That
Yeah, it was
some argue
very
that he was better.
awkward. Yeah, it was very awkward to see. Like a lot of people had him within the top 40 of picks. So him to fall to like 52 is crazy.
Yeah, yeah. If you watched our live stream, you saw how mad I was when the Saints passed him up because the Saints really could have used a linebacker, but no, they went defensive end. But we're also not going to talk about that today. We're not. We may never talk about it. We'll see. Hopefully, we don't. It makes me angry. I don't want to talk about it. But to talk about some strengths about
Mm.
Jeremiah, actually talk about something. Some strengths of him is he's dummy athletic, bro. Dummy athletic. The guy
Just
runs,
natural gifted.
bro. Like it's incredible how fast he is, how well he moves around the field. The dude's super shifty. A lot of analysts say like, oh, sideline to sideline linebacker. It's like no, this guy actually is a freaking sideline to sideline linebacker. Like this guy,
So
he covers sideline to sideline. He covers running backs. He covers tight ends. He covers the slot receiver. There was times when they were playing against
damn.
Alabama and he covered Devontae Smith,
Oh,
and he did a pretty
okay.
decent job as well.
Yeah.
Like this guy is the definition of versatility at the linebacker position. Like this is the guy you want if you're trying to get him to do everything.
Mm.
So I like him a lot. He's also very aggressive, which I love. I love having an aggressive linebacker. I when I was reading some scouting reports, one of them said he hunts for the ball. And when I first read it, I was like, that's kind of a weird way to describe
Yeah,
that.
weird
And then I
take.
watched film and I was like, oh yeah, okay, I understand now. Cause it's like he just blows people up or he like it really like he's just trying to go for the ball at all times, and it's awesome. I love that so much. He has pretty decent ball skills as well. He seems to be more of a man-to-man coverage guy, um, or just blitzing in general. When he blitzes, though, he doesn't really seem like he has a lot of techniques. He seems to be more of a guy that's just really good at reading what's happening, and then he hits the gap. He uses his speed for leverage and things like that. That is one of his weaknesses, is that he's a little bit undersized, so he might have to learn some more techniques to get a little bit better at that.
Yeah.
But I'll get into a little bit more of why that might not be necessary with him being on the Cleveland Browns and why that's a good fit. But like I said, he has great instincts. He should also be able to fill in really easily and even be an upgrade for the Browns. Because last season their middle linebacker was BJ Goodson. He's a little bit on the older side. He's a free agent, but he led the team in tackles. I don't know if he can do that because some people think that he's not a great tackler. I think he's pretty
Mm.
good. I think he's fine, especially with everything else he brings to the table. He can
Hey,
polish that
hey,
up. Let's
as
see if he
long
can
as
learn.
yeah, look, as long as he can rap, unlike that Saints player that allowed the Minnesota Miracle to happen, I think we're good.
Moment of silence for the fallen. Yep, my dreams, they fell. Um, but some weaknesses with him. He's not a great at shedding blocks. He struggled with that a little bit. But man, dude, he blows up some blocks though. Let me tell you, he blows up some blocks. He's undersized. People knock him for that. It worked for Isaiah Simmons, who's on the Cardinals. He's like a safety linebacker type of dude in the nickel. He makes it work. Jeremiah's gonna make it work. I have all the faith in him. The one thing I am a little concerned about that I don't think many people are talking about, so maybe I'm in the minority here, maybe I haven't looked into things enough, maybe I'm uneducated about it, but I'm a little worried of how he adjusts to learning schemes in the NFL. That sounds weird, but it's because Notre Dame apparently ran a very simple defense. It relied on him and his IQ and how well he could read things, but it was very simple in how things worked out. So I don't know how that would
Something
transition.
like a complex defense if he's gonna fit there.
Yeah, like I don't know how that'll work out, so we'll see how that goes. I'm just curious because your guy is also is your guy knocked as undersized? Because your guy's only like an inch taller than him.
I think so. The thing that our guys are, I'm gonna say this right now, it seems very the same person, except my guy isn't as athletic as yours.
Mm-hmm.
But for the most part, yeah, he's a little undersized for what he is. But
Do you care
he has a
about
specific
that?
purpose. I've never cared about size because that was a again saying size. It matters if like that's just a person, like not a personality thing. It's just like a body size thing.
Yeah.
And we've seen people that are great players on defense that are quote unquote undersized
Mm-hmm.
and just tear up the field. Like Aaron Donald, I'm pretty sure was quote unquote undersized, and the man
Bro.
is the best D end in the game. So,
Yeah. Arguably the best defensive player in the game.
oh, for sure, yeah. So
But
it's just a matter. It's like you could say that that affects a lot of other people, but depending on the person, some people can overcome it, some can't. Like everything.
yeah, I think it also depends on how you utilize them because I can understand wanting a bigger guy if you're blitzing all the time. Like if you're
Mhm.
blitzing a lot, then like yeah, that makes sense. You're gonna want a bigger dude that can kind of mix it up with the linemen at scrimmage, at the line of scrimmage. But the Browns, I want to start off with this. The Browns did not have a great defense. They were 21st best defense in terms of points for. They had the 22nd best passing. They were 22nd best in passing yards. They were at the bottom of the league. Same thing for rushing yards. They blitzed the 26th most in the league. They were 21st in pressure. So it's like they don't blitz a lot. They don't send a lot of people at the quarterback, or they're just really bad at it. One of the two. Um, but that's why I think Jeremiah would fit really well there because he's not a guy that really should be on the offensive like that. He can read if he makes the read, like, yeah, go for it, 100%. But I like him back in coverage. I like him covering people, sitting in the middle of the field, or maybe following a receiver or a running back or whatnot, because that's what
Yeah.
he excels at. And honestly, that's what they need. And that's why it's a great, great fit. That's what I think they need, as well as they also lost a linebacker who was exceptionally in open field. That's why he had so many tackles. So to fit in a guy that's younger, that is probably has more potential, that's a great thing to have. And the kind of funny thing with the Browns defense is they were 24th in completion percentage. Like they allowed the 24th most completion percentage. It's a weird thing to phrase, but essentially like they let up a lot of yards is what it seems like, but they broke up a lot of passes as well. They were 12th in passes defended. So they were on the ball a lot. They just couldn't stop anyone from scoring, I guess. Just a lot of big plays, essentially.
Yeah.
So to have a guy like Jeremiah who can cover over the top a little bit, cover the middle of the field, down low, can kind of cover literally sideline to sideline, that's going to help them a lot in that area. It's going to help them a lot. And their defense is kind of still learning because their head coach became the head coach in the middle of the season. Kevin Stefanski, I think is how you pronounce it.
Yep.
And their defensive coordinator, Joe Woods, that was his first season as defensive coordinator of the team. That was the second time ever being a defensive coordinator in his career. So it's like he's learning as well a little bit on the fly here. So when you have all these great pieces, like all these new acquisitions, like John Johnson, strong safety from the Rams, cornerback Troy Hill, also from the Rams, your Davian Clowney, defensive end, DeCaris McKinley, defensive tackle from the Raiders. I like him a lot. Myles Garrett. The list goes on of all these people that they have on that defense.
Mm-hmm.
They seemed primed to have a really, really good defense this year. They should 100% be 21st, better than 21st best defense. They should, maybe this is a hot take, put up the flames, get the sirens, but they should probably have a top 10 defense next year. And if they don't, they should really look hard at Joe Woods and maybe getting somebody else in there. Like, I feel bad because I'd only be a second year in there, but like, dude, if you don't have better than like a top 15 defense at minimum, you are on the hot
Yeah.
seat. You are
Yeah.
on the hot seat. There's so much talent all over that defense. You have to produce. Shy of any questions.
For this guy. Oh, well, one thing I forgot to talk about earlier was, do you know any reason why he did fall to 52 in any way or no?
I didn't see anything, actually. I don't know what it is. I guess it was just kind of the narrative if it's an offensive heavy draft, so people were just looking for offense.
Okay.
And that's just what it was. I don't think I saw anything about health reasons. I don't remember anything popping up about personality or anything like that. It's just people just passed him up.
Okay.
And the Browns were there at 52, 52nd pick, and we're like, yo, highway robbery. We're gonna steal this man from the whole league and we're gonna bring him on board because he's exactly what we need. Can't believe we got him at this value, but we did.
Yeah.
So kudos to the Browns for making an excellent pickup that I hopefully will work out great for them. And hopefully this little clip isn't part of a flashback in like 2-3 years of him not even in the league anymore. That would be terrible.
That'd be awful. Oh my goodness.
So tell me about your guy, your linebacker that was also picked in the second round.
Yeah. So again, not much of a difference between my guy and Andy's guy. Azeez Ojulari from Georgia. Basically the same height, basically the same weight. Not as fast because he only ran a 4.61. I know Jeremiah didn't run a 40, but
Yeah,
he only ran my linebacker only ran a 4.61, which is still fast, but not like how we were looking at this class as probably the fastest draft class ever.
yeah. Yeah,
Um,
that 4.61 might be inflated for all we know. He might have
yeah,
actually ran like a 4.6,
sure.
like 8, something like that. Maybe even like 7.
Yeah. So he was selected by the Giants in the second round, 2 picks before Jeremiah. He was picked 50th.
That's terrible.
Yeah.
Like no shade at Azeez, but like wow. Wow. I'm honestly upset about that. Go on.
So he came out of Georgia. He had a pretty good year. Let me see right here. He was averaging about at least a 1 tackle for loss a game for most people, for most of the teams that they played. The only problem I'm seeing with him is that he wasn't doing it against like a decently good O lines in college. So like Alabama's O line is always one of the best. He did not have a very good game against them, but I think versus not as skilled. Which again, not every O line in the NFL is amazing, and
Yeah.
not that like they're not amazing, and
Shout out to the
especially in
Bengals,
yeah, especially in his division, which
the best division of football.
Oh my goodness, the most amazing, most electric division in football.
The NFC East,
With
you never know what you're gonna
yeah,
get from them.
you never know where you're gonna get. I think he's gonna flourish with the Giants. I think he's gonna do good there. I think they did need a little bit help on their linebacker core. Their best defensive player, from what I saw, was Blake Martinez, who was a Packer before this past year, I'm pretty sure,
I
or
think
two
so. And
years
he's
ago.
also a linebacker.
Yeah, he's also a linebacker. He's a very good linebacker. So they bolstered their linebacking core there with Azeez Ojulari.
Is Azeez a coverage linebacker
No,
similar to Jeremiah?
he seems to be more of a definitely more of a pass
Mm,
rush, like stop the run type of guy. Definitely more of
interesting.
that than he is a pass coverage. He's definitely not a sideline to sideline guys. Definitely not that. One critique that I saw of him was that he doesn't have a lot of techniques to get through, but he still gets
Mm,
through, which is a really weird thing. Again, that I think that has to do with that he was probably not facing the best O lines that he could have
mm.
when that was happening, so he was still able to get through.
Could you what he went to Georgia? Was there do you know by any chance there was any other good pass rushers at Georgia? Because maybe he was just targeted and
Ooh,
that's why he couldn't actually produce.
I I don't know if there was any other pass rushers at Georgia. I'm not very good with college football,
That's fair. No
so
worries.
yeah, I couldn't tell you if there like I can't remember even in the first round anybody being taken from Georgia. So I'm gonna
No.
assume that maybe it was that he was the best
Yeah.
and Alabama was just good at just
Yeah, they just
stopping him.
targeted him. They have a
Yeah,
beastly O line, so it makes
all the
sense.
time. Yeah. So I I see him flourishing as a giant just considering that they have to face very bad O lines, at least in my eyes, in that terrible, terrible division.
So
Um
I'm gonna knock your guy a little bit because I want to see you defend him.
okay.
So you're saying he's gonna flourish because he's in a bad division essentially, but you only play those guys twice a year. Majority of your
Yeah.
schedule is not against that conference,
Hmm.
and he's a little undersized. And it's not like he's a coverage guy. He's a guy that actually blitzes. However, he doesn't have very good technique. So what are the selling points for him then? Like why did the Giants go and get a linebacker when you could argue, and I think you kind of brought it up as well, that they could have maybe used an O lineman instead, or
Hmm.
gone after any other position. That team was terrible this past season.
So what I would say is to that is I think they're trying to get back to what they were, let's say how many years ago was that now? Like 7, 8 years ago
Oh, what, the Super
when
Bowl?
yeah, when they won the Super Bowl.
Oh, something like that.
Yeah, I forget how long ago that was.
A long time
Jeez.
ago.
Yeah. So I think they're just trying to get back to just being a better defense with an okay offense.
Okay.
Um, I think he does help that team. I know what you're trying to say that like I'm saying like he's undersized
Mm.
and that
I just want to hear more selling points about him. I just want to
no,
hear
I
like
know.
why he's so good there and why you think he's a great fit.
Mm. Again, even though they only face those three teams 6 times a year,
Essentially, yeah, because they play him
yes,
twice.
6 times now it's 17 games, right?
Yeah. So that's 11 games they're playing against other competition.
Yeah. I don't know. I think he's a great fit there. It's
You just
just
have
a
a good
feeling.
feeling about him.
Yeah, I just have a good feeling.
That's fair. And this is almost I'm assuming you don't think he's gonna produce right away for them either.
No, I definitely don't think he's gonna be their like top defensive player. I don't think he's gonna be. Oh, I know that Pro Football Focus or whatever they use PFF
Hmm.
when they do the rankings. I don't think the linebacker rankings.
Hmm.
There's so many. I forget
Yeah.
how many how many there are in total.
Yeah, I get
But
you.
I'm gonna say he won't. Maybe will crack the top 30 in linebackers, but won't crack the top 20 in
Mm.
linebackers
Okay.
in at least his first year. I think he says this was a quote from him about his like him not needing like or him not having a lot of techniques to get through O lines was that
Yeah.
well if it's not broke like if it's not broke so,
If it's not
something like
broke, don't fix it.
It's funny because that's what the phrase is, but the
That's not
reason
what
why
he
I'm having
said.
the reason why I'm having trouble is because he
It was
said
something
something
else.
weird. Yeah, he's like, if it ain't broken,
Let it
it's
be.
not broke or
It's not
something. Like
broke.
it, yeah, it
It's
was
weird.
like so weird. Yeah,
But so essentially, because that's the thing is like you're saying he was picked 2 picks
before,
before
yes,
Jeremiah.
yeah,
A lot of people consider Jeremiah potentially an all-pro linebacker. They consider him
mm,
pro ready, that the guy could have an immediate impact on a lot of teams. Your guy, kind of what you've said is like he's a project.
hmm,
There's maybe high potential to be unlocked there with him being a pass rusher from the linebacking position. So we probably won't see him be good this year. We might see him be a little bit better next year,
yeah,
but we probably won't see him actually be like how you're saying, maybe like a top, maybe not top 20, you said not top 20, but like a top 30, below top 20, somewhere in that range guy, probably before the end of his contract. So within the next, like, probably in his third, fourth year, we'll see him really produce, you're saying.
yeah, for sure. I definitely think he's more of a project than you just throw him in. He's gonna
Mm-hmm.
be one of the best players on your team.
And it
I
would,
definitely,
and then your other selling point, I guess, would be that because of that, because he's a project guy, the Giants suck right now. He's there is no point in getting a guy that's pro ready because it's like they're not going to fit the timeline. They're just going to be upset and frustrated with the rest of the team, I guess, because everyone's trash. Essentially, they're trying to fix so many different positions, so
yeah,
he fits more the timeline that they're trying to go at while they try to bring Saquon Barkley, kind of carry the offense. Same thing with Daniel Jones. They have a lot of young players on defense, trying to get everyone going and just get a bunch of little centerpieces together that can kind of grow up as they go, learn, become pros together, and really form a team slowly. Is kind of
yeah,
what you're saying.
definitely, yeah, definitely trying to form that team. Maybe in the next 3 years, they could probably be a competitive team.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully, just
Yeah,
considering that divisions. Um,
it makes
yeah, I
sense
think,
though too because you're saying like because I think it's Dave Gettleman,
yeah,
the GM. He traded back uh in the first round, and he got a bunch of draft capital for that.
yeah,
So it makes sense what you're saying. That's like, yeah, it's like they've kind of taken on the position of we're not trying to win right now. We're trying to win in 3, 4 years, and we're gonna get all this draft capital, build up these guys, and kind of bet on ourselves being able to just put a team out there and develop.
yeah, for sure.
No, that's interesting. Let's see how that goes. I think Jeremiah's gonna be better. I'm not gonna lie to you. I think when it's all said and done, my boy JOK, Joker, Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah. I have to read it. I do not have that memorized. Is gonna be better than Azeez. Say it, try what the freak is his last name.
Ojulari.
Say it one more time.
Oh, oh, all Julari.
Ojulari. God, we picked 2 linebackers that both went in the second round that are undersized
Yeah,
and have wild last names.
yeah.
Great episode to get back on. Do you have any final thoughts for your guy, Chayav?
Nope.
No. All right. Well, thank you everyone for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed. We're gonna try our best to get back to our regular scheduled programming of NFL videos on I think was it when do these things usually come out? Fridays? Thursdays?
Fridays.
Fridays. And then basketball videos on Thursdays. We'll start that back up. I'm gonna try my best to put out documentaries every month. Fingers crossed. Don't take my word for it. I'm gonna try. Real hard. Make it happen. I'll give you a little insider information. The next one's gonna be Aaron Jones because you stayed this long. You deserve to know. And yeah, subscribe, like if you enjoy this type of content. And I hope you guys have a great day. Bye.